Hello, good morning, Kaimuk.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Did I say morning? Oops, my bad. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Priyu. Good afternoon, Tata. Good afternoon, Kaupan. Good afternoon, Abibu. Good afternoon, Pai Pai. Good afternoon, Fuji. And who?
Bhutan,
Yes.
Philippines,
Me? Are you talking about me? No, I'm not from Philippines.
Bhutan,
Yes. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, teacher is going to take your attendance, okay? So I'll share the screen first. Share the attendance sheet. Let's see, 8 of you are here right now, right? So let's not waste time. Okay, I'm gonna call out your name. If you're present, say I'm here. Okay, so first one is Fuji. I think Fuji is here, right? Present. Pongpond. Is Pongpond here? Jumjam. Not here, right? Jumjam. Okay, Kaimok is here. BM. Are you here, BM? C. Are you here, C? Okay, absent. Okay. Okay. How about Priyu?
Present.
Okay. Gretel. Gretel. Are you here, Gretel? No, right? Okay, Nikki. Nikki is absent. Okay, Achi.
Jam is present.
Jumjam is present. Okay. Achi. Is Achi here? I think it was Achi, right? The first person. Okay, no Achi. All right. Timmy. Timmy, are you here, Timmy? Armas. I think Armas is going to be absent, right? Okay. Mina
Present.
is present. Okay. Randa.
Present.
Okay. Nest.
Present.
Pim. Pim. Kaupan. Present. Tata.
present,
Okay. Tata.
present,
Present. Sunshine. Sprite. Narnia. Mimi. Mimi or Mimi. Okay. Bye bye. Present.
Present.
Mo. Is Mo here? Q is Abibu, right? Oh,
Present.
okay, I'm gonna save this. So, good afternoon, everyone. Let's get started now. Please get your science book, everyone. Get your science book. First, right, before we move on to the new topic, we will first do exercises on page 78. First, I'm going to review and then we will do it together, okay? Page 78. So First, let's try to recollect what we have learned in our last class, okay? So in our last class, we learned about the slow process that changed the surface of the earth, right? Right, everyone? So what are those three slow processes that changes the earth's surface? Do you guys remember the three processes that changes the earth's surface? What are they? What are the three processes that change the earth's surface?
Weathering.
Weathering. What else?
Deposition.
Deposition. And there is one more. Erosion, right? So these are the three types, okay? Weathering, erosion, and deposition are the three types of, okay, slow process that changes the earth's surface. So let's start with weathering first, okay? So weathering is a process, right? Where the rock is broken down, into smaller pieces on the earth's surface is called as weathering. So in the weathering also there is three types, right? Do you guys remember the three types of weathering? Okay, Pim said she is here. Hold on. Pim. All right. There are three types of weathering, right? So what are they? Pai, do you remember what are they? The three types of weathering.
Is that physical?
Yes, physical weathering. So it's physical weathering, biological weathering, and chemical weathering are the three types of weathering, okay? So physical weathering is mainly due to the differences between the temperature during the daytime and nighttime, okay? So during the daytime, what happened to the stones? The example that I gave you, right, last time, the stone. What will happen to the stone during the daytime? Can someone tell me what will happen to the stone during the daytime? It will expand, right? Because of the heat surrounding it. It expands, and during the nighttime, it contracts, okay? So in the physical weathering, it's mainly due to the day and night temperature, all right? And in the biological weathering, okay, we living things, right, contributes in biological weathering. So we living things, we humans are living things, right? Animals and plants are the living things, okay? So living things contribute to a biological weathering, such as, for example, like for plants, when they grow up, what happens? It exerts, right? It exerts stress and pressure on the rock. So that's how the rock breaks down, okay? And also boring of animals and even human can break down the rock into smaller pieces, okay? And the third one was the chemical weathering. Do you guys remember the example that I gave you? It was acid rain, right? So acid rain, right? Acid rain will help. What will happen? It will oxidize, right? I give you two examples, acid rain and the limestone, right? So when the acid rain is naturally, it's acidic, right? So when they react with limestone, what happens? The rock gets weathered, right? Rock changes, right? So this is a chemical weathering, okay? And let's talk about erosion now. So erosion is a process of transportation. Remember, transportation of rocks and soil materials, or it can be sediments by natural agents such as running water, waves, glaciers, and winds, right? And also we can include the slides, okay, the mudslides, right? The landslides, okay, we can also include that. So the rain, what happens? It will wash out the sediments, right? When it rains, it will wash out the sediments into streams. That's how it gets transported, okay? Second one was the wind, right? Wind can blow the sediments as well, right? Glacier can carry them too as well. The landslides can also, okay? So these are the type of erosions that we learned in our last class, okay? And the last one that we learned was about deposition. So deposition is a lying down of sediments carried by wind, okay, on the way, okay? Deposition is the lying down of the sediments carried by a wind, flowing water in sea, or ice is called as deposition, okay? So here, the sediments can be transported as a pebble and sand and mud on the way, okay? So the example that I gave you last time was the delta, right? The delta river. So deltas are formed when the sediments are deposited at a river mouth, right? And another example that I gave you was the sand dunes, okay? So these are the example of deposition, all right? So, okay, teacher is going to share my screen here. We will do exercise on page 78. Everyone turn to page number 78, exercise 5. Page 78, exercise 5. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen here. Okay, by the way, are you guys done writing this one? You guys are done with this, right? Okay. What is weathering? Okay, for those of you who aren't done yet, right? Please take a picture of this one, okay? Please take a picture for those of you who aren't done yet. Okay. I'll give you 5 seconds to take picture. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. How about this one? Are you guys done with this one as well? Please take a picture of this one as well. Deposition is a process in which the sediments or the weathered rock are being transported or are dropped. Sorry. Okay, for the next question, we're gonna do this together, okay? So I will ask you guys to read. So let me first read out the instruction here. Okay, exercise 5, page 78. Group this situation into the correct categories by writing the letters representing them. Okay, so these letters, okay, you're going to write it in here, okay? So we have 3 boxes here: weathering, erosion, and deposition. So, okay, let's first read the first one. I want someone to read. Tata, can you please read A? Please read A. A mudslide. A mudslide. Of flowing down a hill. Okay, so what answer is it? Does it fall under weathering? Does it fall under erosion, or does it fall under deposition? Okay, who can tell me the answer for this one? The first one. A. So the answer for the A is going to be erosion. Okay, so write down letter A here. Okay. B. Okay, Pai Pai, can you please read B?
With dropping sand on the beach.
Okay, so what do you think it is? Is it weathering, erosion, or deposition?
Weathering,
No,
erosion.
no, it's deposition. Okay. Okay, I'll give you the answer here. But I want someone to read, okay? C. Abibu, can you please read C? How about C? Can you please read C?
I read B.
Pebbles?
Pepper being
Carried?
carried away by a fast-moving river.
Okay, so what is the answer? It's erosion, okay? D, the layer of sediments forming at the bottom of the ocean. Okay, do you remember the example I give you? The Delta River, right? The sediment forming at the bottom of the ocean. So the answer here is deposition. E, water getting into cracks, freezing and breaking the rocks apart. So this example I gave you guys last week. Do you guys remember during the weather season? I told you, right? During the winter season, like in a cold areas, very cold areas. So here what happens is when the water flows, right? Sometimes because of the coldness, it becomes ice. The water becomes ice, and those waters that were in cracks, right? It gets freeze, okay? And later on, what happens? It causes to break down the rock. So this is the answer. Is the weathering. This is the answer for the weathering. F is flood, water pounding against a cannon wall and wearing it down. This one is a weathering as well. Delta river forming. Okay, delta forming at a river mouth is deposition. H, sand carried by a wind hitting rocks and breaking them. Okay, it's weathering. And the last one, wind blowing sand from one location to another is called erosion. One location to another is called as erosion. Weathering is breaking down of rocks. Okay. Deposition is also, it's almost same like an erosion, but deposition, when the water flows, okay, erosion will take things from one location to another location, whereas deposition, okay, look here, everyone. So deposition, what happens is when the water flows, it gets dropped. Some of the sediments, they gets dropped on the way. So this is called as deposition. All right. So please write this, everyone. After this, we will move on to the new topic, which is about sources of energy. Okay. Is everyone done? Kaupan, are you done? Are you finished, Kaupan?
Pictures.
Finished? You took pictures?
Yes, pictures.
Okay, you write it down later on, okay, Kaupan?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, okay? I'm going to stop sharing this part of the screen, okay? I'll move on to the next one, which is the sources of energy, okay? So this is going to be the new topic for today. So do you guys have any question from the previous topic? No, right? Please let me know if you have any question, okay? So sources of energy. So this is going to be the topic for our today's class, okay? Sources of energy. We use energy to do work, right? So there are many sources of energy on the earth. Okay, so we're going to look at the sources of energy. So those sources of energies are classified into Granda. Can you please read this, Granda?
Which one this is?
Yes. Okay. And what is this? Can you please read? Okay, Grant, the teacher cannot hear you well. Okay, I'm gonna read it instead, okay? So here, the sources of energy, there are many sources of energy, right? But those sources of energies are classified into two types, okay? One is called as non-renewable energy source, okay? Another one is called as renewable energy source. So these are the two types of energy sources, okay? First, let's look at what non-renewable energy sources mean, okay? So non-renewable energy sources are the energy sources that will not replenish quickly and may run out soon. So the word replenish means cannot be replaced, okay? We cannot fill this up, okay? Are called as non-renewable energy, okay? Most non-renewable energy sources are fossil, okay? Non-renewable energy sources are fossils, right? Fossil fuels are the hydrocarbon compound formed from the decay of organic matters over 300 years ago. Okay, see here. They said that they cannot be replenished quickly. They cannot be refilled, right? Quickly, or they may run out soon, right? Why they're saying that is because fossil fuel takes 300 million years to form a fossil fuel. It takes millions and millions years to form fossil fuel. That's why, okay, it's hard for us to replace it quickly, right? And also we may run out of fossil, okay, because we use it, right? Nowadays we use it in many things. Fossil fuels are used in many things, right? So it might run out, okay, soon. So the types of fossil fuels that are currently in use are coal, petroleum, and oil shale, okay? So these three are the fossil fuel that we currently are in use, okay? So let's first look at the coal. Okay, sorry. Let's first see what we use this in, okay? So these materials are made into fuels, okay, for different kinds of equipments. And we also use those in manufacturing, okay? So let's first look at coal. So how did the coal form? Okay, so we're gonna look at that first. So The coal that we use today, right? It began to form million years ago in swampy forest. Okay, in a swampy forest. So swampy forest or swampy area is a place where there is plenty full of huge, okay, grown plants. It's called as swampy forest. Okay, so here, when those plants, right, when they died, they fell in the swamps here. Can you see this? When those plants died, right, they fell onto the swamps here. And they were covered with mud, soil, and other plants. Okay, when they were, right, when the plants died, what happened? They were covered by mud, soil, and other plants. Okay. Okay, and it was covered with water and dirt as well. So what happens after? The layers and layers of sediments, okay, those mud, those rocks, right? The people, this keeps on adding and adding and adding. It keeps on adding, okay? And layers of sediments keep on piling over the million years because of this intense heat, right? And pressure from the earth, okay? Pressure from the earth covered by the plants matters, okay? This helped the plants remain to turn into the coal. Okay, everyone understand? Because of the plants were piling it onto each and every, right? Because of those heat and pressure, okay, from the earth, from the plants, right? From the things that were piled up. That helped the plant remains to turn into the coal. So this was how coal was formed. Understand? Yes, no? Pai, do you understand? Okay, please let me know if you don't get it. Okay. So those coals, okay, are of 4 types. Okay. They are classified into 4 types according to their age. Okay. First two, let's see this. First one is called as bituminous coal, and second one is called as anthracite coal. And in another box, we have subbituminous coal and lignite coal. So here, this 2, right? So this first box, okay, bituminous and anthracite coals, right? These coals are the oldest types of the coal, okay, and they contains the highest carbon, okay, whereas subbituminous coal and lignite coals are the youngest type of a coal and they contain less carbon. Okay, understand everyone? Okay, sorry. Now, let's move on to petroleum. Let's see how petroleums were formed, okay? Please let me know if you don't get it. Second one is petroleum. So petroleum is also formed over millions and millions years from the decay of algae. Okay, these are called as algae. And tiny ocean animals known as plankton, okay? Petroleum is formed over a million years from the decays of algae and tiny ocean animals known as plankton. So these are the tiny animals of the oceans, okay? These and these, right? Because of the decays of algae and tiny ocean animals known as plankton, these form the petroleum, okay? So the tiny animals and plants were buried into sediments on the ocean floors, okay? So here, same as in coal, in petroleum as well, due to the under pressure and heat of piling it, right, against on each other, okay, due to the under pressure and heat became oil-bearing shale, and finally to a crude oil. Okay, so this is a bearing shale, oil bearing shale, and this is a crude oil. So oil bearing shale, right? So oil bearing shale is an underground rock. Okay, everyone, it's an underground rock that contains trapped petroleum. Okay, whereas this one is a crude oil. So this crude oils, we use it for like jet fuel, diesels. Okay, so this were how petroleums were formed. Understand, everyone? Last one, we're gonna go into the oil shale. Last one. So the oil shale, okay, refers to any sedimentary rocks that contain solid bituminous materials called erosion. Okay, it refers to any kinds of sedimentary rocks that contains solid bituminous. Okay, bituminous rocks, we use it for like wood constructions, right? So bituminous rocks is one of the oldest kinds of in the coal. Do you guys remember? In the coal, I showed you this, right? So bituminous is one of the oldest, okay, kinds of coal. So here as well. So bituminous, since bituminous have the carbon contained, more carbon contained, right? So it will allow this to burn. Okay, I will let you guys know later. Okay, so this bituminous materials is called as erosion. All right, so what happens is they release petroleum like liquid. Okay, and when the rocks are heated in a chemical process, so petroleum like liquid will be released, okay, when the rocks are heated in a chemical process here. So oil shale, right? It was also formed over the millions of years by deposition of silt and organic debris on lake beds and sea bottom. So silt is like a solid dust, okay? Silt is a solid dust, like a water ice, okay? The wind, right? The wind particles, the dust particles in the wind, okay? And also this one, right? The organic debris, right? These are the organic waste, the green waste, the food waste, okay, are called as organic debris. It can also be the animals, okay? The animals' urine, the vomit, and the blood are called as organic debris, okay? On the lake bed and sea bottoms. Oil shale was formed over the million years by deposition of silt and organic debris on a lake bed and sea bottoms. So here as well, because of the heat and pressure here as well, right? Because of the heat and pressure over the long period of time, transform these materials, okay? Transform these materials into the oil shale, okay? Okay, everyone? And when we extract the oil shale, right? It's very complex, okay? It's very complex and it's very expensive as well. Why is it expensive? Because the oil shale, the oil in the oil shale is a solid and cannot be pumped out directly from the ground, okay? So those oil shale must first be mined. We need to mine. We need to dig deep inside and take these things out. And then later, we need to heat that on a high temperature. So this process is also called as retorting. Okay, retorting is a process. When we heat things into a high temperature here, is called as retorting. Okay, so as a result, we get a liquid. Okay, understand like this liquid. Can you see this here? As a result, we get this. And we separate and collect them. Okay, so this is it, everyone. Understand? Is it confusing? Because you have so many new words here, right? Pai Pai, understand Pai Pai? Pai Pai seems confused today. Okay. So with this, we are done with this topic, okay? So for the next class, I will start with renewable resources, okay? Can you all turn to this page, page number 79? Fill in the blanks to describe how coal was formed, okay? Millions of years ago, the earth was partly covered with, what is the answer here? Priyu. Hello, Priyu. Hello, Fuji. Hello, Fuji. Are you there, Fuji? Okay, Fuji. What is the answer for the first one? Millions of years ago, the earth was partly covered with, what do you think? Is it coal, diet, swampy forest, heat, or sediments? Okay, so the answer for the first one will be the swampy forest. Okay. Because in the million years ago, like there were no people living, right? It's no construction, no road, no buildings, so it will obviously be the forest, right? Millions of years ago, the earth was partly covered with swampy forests. When the plants dashed, they fell into the swamp and covered with water and dirt. So what is the answer here? If you know the answer, feel free to unmute yourself and answer.
Die.
Yes, very good. Okay, when the plants died, they fell into the swamps and covered by a water and dirt. As time passed, layers and layers of what is the answer here? Layers and layers of, yes?
Sediment.
Yes, very good. Layers and layers of sediments keep on piling up over each other. And over the millions of years, because of those intense dash and pressure from the top layers. So what is the answer here? Because of the intense heat, very good. Intense heat and pressure from the top layer help the plant's remains to turn into cool. So this is it, everyone. So we have 1 minute remaining, everyone. 1 minute, 50 seconds. Please write this down. So you guys will come back to school again, right? I think hopefully I'll be able to see this class next week then. Is it raining at your place? It's raining here at school. Please write it. So I guess everyone's done. I will stop sharing the screen since we have less than 1 minute, okay? All right, I will stop sharing the screen. Make sure you send this in the line group, okay? Take picture and send it in the line group and I will check it, okay? So I will see you guys next Thursday, okay? Bye-bye. Take care, everyone. Have a happy weekend. Bye.
Thank you, teacher. Merci.
You're welcome.
张万松。